Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Heather and I'm Astrid's mum. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to be talking about all my cross stitches that I have created. So thank you so much for joining the channel for today, and please subscribe. Make sure you press the red button on the right hand corner and make sure you press the notifications as well. And then that way that you will be notified of any new videos that get uploaded.
Mum keeps telling me to do it and I'll be like, no. So I asked her to help me say it for the first time because I don't know what to say. So you've heard it from my mum, and mum's word is gold. So you have to do it now. You have to press the button to subscribe. Okay. So mum is an incredible cross stitcher. She's probably one of the biggest creative forces in my life about creativity and artistic natures. So I wanted to ask mum to come on and show some of her work because I think that she deserves to be championed and made amazing, made everyone know that she's amazing. So the first one that you have, would you like to show it to us?
Yes.
Bit of noise.
Okay, so it's this one here. This was the first cross stitch I ever did.
Yeah, I'll hold it in the middle.
It's an alphabet and it has all the Beatrix Potter characters. I actually started this 2 years before Astrid was born. And then I finished it.
It's 29 years old.
2 years after she was born.
Okay,
so
23.
That took me 4 years to do. I think the A took me the longest time, actually. I was really finding my feet and I learnt a lot on doing this. I really did. I bought it as a kit and it was a really good starter. It was quite an ambitious project as a first cross stitch, but I'm really pleased with it. And I just think the alphabet was really quite significant for my motherhood journey.
I remember coming home and we would talk about the alphabet and mum would point to it and I could figure out that, you know, where my letters of my name were. And yeah, I remember this has always been a big feature in like my development in my life. So yeah, very big, massive cross stitch. It's really pretty.
This one was really just in celebration of her birth. So what I did for each of my children was I had their name and then the meaning of their name. So Natasha, God's gift of joy, and then Courtney, surrounded by God's love. And I was a little bit further along in my cross stitch journey by the time I did this, but I just loved all the Beatrix Potter characters. I used to read those stories to the girls all the time, and it really is just a lovely celebration of a birth of a beautiful baby.
So mum made one for me as well, and it was 7 girls sitting on a bike, and it had my names Astrid, Susanna, and the meanings of my names. So Astrid is strength of God, and Susanna means brilliance and purity. And I remember, very firmly remember, cleaning my room and then I was going to paint one of the walls in this awesome green. It was really cool. And we don't know where it is anymore. So I remember it smashing and like crying to mum and being like, oh my God, it's broken. And then I remember a conversation about taking it to a framer's and getting it fixed. And that's the last that we remember. So this beautiful, beautiful cross stitch, which had, you know, little girls with yellow hair, brown hair on this purple bike. And it was really cute. But I don't know where it is anymore. So
I still have the pattern, so I could actually do it again. I just need the time and the inclination.
In case I lose it again.
Anyway, this one here is another one that's important to me. This is actually called Catch the Wind.
Do it that way so there's no glare. There we go.
Okay. It's called Catch the Wind. I first saw this when I had 2 little girls, and I saw it in a cross stitch shop, and I just thought, oh, if I get another little girl, I'm going to do that. And as fortune would have it, I did. I ended up getting another little girl. And
well, you had one, you didn't buy one.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was just but they're still gifts. So it was just lovely.
Okay.
And I just love this one. I loved doing it and I love looking at it. It's at my front door when I first come into the house, and it really is just once again, a beautiful celebration about just welcoming these little girls into my life. And when I look at this, I can actually see each of my girls.
Yeah.
So I just think this one here is Astrid. She's the middle one. Well, she's the eldest, but she's the middle in here, taking charge. You can see that she's really going for it. This one here is Natasha. Natasha is a little bit more quiet, and she's definitely got the chestnut brown hair. And then Larissa is blonde. She's my youngest. And when I look at that as well, I can really just see her. She's always sort of up for anything.
Yeah.
So this one is called Catch the Wind, and I just thought too, it's basically dreaming big for the girls and just saying, look, go for it, catch the wind and just dream big and have an amazing life.
Yes, so Larissa's hair at one point it was below her waist. I think now it's kind of middle back. But we used to joke that if she cut her hair, she wasn't allowed to. We had to have a family meeting because it's like a family treasure. Her hair is so gorgeous. So, yeah, that one is exactly like her.
This one here, I call it What Natasha Did. And after the girls were born and I did a cross stitch for each of them, the reason I don't have the other ones is Astrid and Larissa don't live at home anymore, so they have it at their houses. But when I actually did this second one for Natasha, I asked her what she would like. And at the time, she was really reading What Katie Did by Susan Coolidge. And then the sequel, What Katie Did Next. And it really resonated with everything about her. And as you can see from the cover of What Katie Did, it's a girl on a swing. And when Natasha would come home from school, as soon as she would get home, she would get into her dress-ups and she would just wear all these crazy things. And it literally felt like there were just ribbons all over the place. And then she would go outside and be on the swing and bounce on the trampoline and the seesaw and climb trees, and it was just...
She was Katie for the active bit.
This just epitomised everything about Natasha, and I just thought that was a celebration of who she was, and I loved the beauty of the actual cross stitch, as well as I just thought that it was a real celebration of who she was. In this one here, you can probably see there's a little bit more of a progression. I started to go more into buying the linen, buying the individual threads, setting my kits up, and also some of the beading.
So I know that my people know knitting, but they might not know cross stitch as well. Can you explain to us what it's getting a bit yellow. There we go. Can you explain to us what the point of linen and beads and all that would be?
So in the first one, the Beatrix Potter one, that was on Ada, which is like a 28 count. It means that there's not as many, it's 28 holes per inch. And as you get more and more into a finer quality of fabric, your count goes up. So this one here, I think is about a 36. I actually am a little bit rusty with my numbers, but it's a higher count, which means a higher number of holes per square inch. And it's just finer. And what the professional or the really proficient cross stitchers do is they buy the individual linen by the meter and then have all of the threads as well, which is what I do. And I basically just follow the pattern according to the material that I have. And I obviously buy them rather than buying a kit, which is just all prescribed for you. And then there can be a lot of waste at the end of it. Whereas this way I don't waste anything because I only use what I need as I'm actually doing the cross stitch.
So if it's more holes, there's more room for error because you have more areas that you can kind of poke it into.
No, it's just not as fine. The finished product is not as high quality. And as I got better and better at doing all of my cross stitches, I really wanted to push myself a little bit more and get a higher quality product. And having the beads here, it is a little bit hard on this screen to be able to actually see the dimensions of the beading, but it really just adds that extra layer of complexity and beauty, really.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't yet read What Katie Did and What Katie Did Next, I so much recommend it. These are books from just my childhood. I remember sitting there and reading them with Mum, reading them with my sisters, stealing them off each other. Yeah, definitely a good classic. Okay.
This one here, I did a little bit earlier than the other one, I think. This one here just really is like a cottage, and I've always loved that cottage style. It's just something that resonates with who I am as a person and the decor that I have. So I obviously having a family, you know, getting married, having children, that was really important to me. And I just wanted to put my heart and soul into my children. And obviously that was a part of that was having a home. And so when I saw the image of this cottage, I just thought, oh, that's just like my dream. And I just really love it.
What's the name of our house?
Hummingbird Cottage.
So this is Mum's pièce de résistance, I think. She has created this house from where it started in bare bones into this absolutely glorious cottage, which part of it is very, how do you describe it? I think like French, not coastal, but like
French provincial.
Is part of it. And then what would this area be? Like cute floral cottage, you know, tucked into, very feminine, nestled into like a British coast, British countryside somewhere. I keep saying coast. Why coast? Yeah. British countryside somewhere where, you know, it's a destination and you would go to, and it's almost, you know, the hostess would welcome you with jam and scones and tea, and you would just relax and have a wonderful time. So the cross stitch matches exactly what I think you've built this house to be. Yeah,
I just want my home to be relaxing, welcoming, fresh, and I think it's all of those.
Very much is.
Yeah. Oh, so this next one is another one that I did for my third daughter, Larissa, after I did her birth one. Her birth one is at her place, and she lives a long way away, so we just couldn't arrange for it to be here on today.
Hello, colours.
So this one here is called Under the Friendship Tree, and at the time that I offered to Larissa that I was going to do another cross stitch, she was really having a great friendship with this other friend of hers, Evie, and they're still friends to this day. Actually, it's almost 20 years later and they're still incredibly good friends. And this one is called Under the Friendship Tree. So there's my blondie there, there's Larissa, and there's her friend Evie. And once again, this just really was a celebration of something that was important in her life, which was her friendship with Evie. And they were inseparable for a very long time. And I don't know if you can see here, but it's a little bit more complex with the beading.
You can see the beautiful beads, and they're down the bottom as well. The apples have got beads in them, the dresses, the flower crowns, the flowers at the top. It's just beautiful. It's really like intricate.
Yeah. So I really liked that one. She kept that here for some reason, but she took her birth one with her. This one here, it seemed to take forever and ever to do. Around about the time that I embarked on this, I think I started working full time and I still had young children. So I could really only do cross stitching at night. And this was dark, it was navy blue. And it just seemed to take me a very long time to do because the light in the evening is just not the same as what it is during the day. But what really drew me to this one is that it's a celebration of the birth of Jesus. And that's very important in our family. And I just really wanted to commemorate that. It started off initially as something that I would bring out once a year for Christmas, but I invested too much into it and it just meant too much to me. We actually keep it here all year round. Yeah. And even though the colour scheme being the darker blue, it probably doesn't quite go with the rest of the house right now. But I just have it out anyway.
Who cares? It's too good. You can't hide this.
Exactly. And I think that probably makes it pop a little bit more because it doesn't kind of blend in.
Yes.
But I just really like that one. So it says, "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy. Unto you is born a Saviour." Yes. Okay, this one.
Okay. All right,
this is a big one. This one is called Titania, Queen of the Fairies. For those of you who know Shakespeare, you know that that's one of his plays. Titania is really just a name that I love. I think it's so beautiful. If I had have been brave enough, I might have actually named one of my daughters Titania, but I was never brave enough. And I think also it just epitomized 3 little girls having fun, education, literature, all the things that we really just love and celebrate, as well as the actual beauty and the heritage of this gorgeous image here. Once again, you can see that there's a little bit of beading if we show really close.
You can probably see the background of our house as well, but that's okay.
And just the dimensions with the beading.
It's really beautiful. This is quite big. This is the one in your room, isn't it?
No, it's in the lounge.
The lounge room, yeah.
So it's a beautiful cross stitch. It really is. Just got all the colours that I like, and I just thought it was a gorgeous, lovely image of a beautiful girl in a dress with feathers, with wings.
Flowers and wings and yeah, it's beautiful. I like the beads at the top. They're real. Oh, they're secrets.
Yes, they're like the antlers of her wings.
They're really cool.
Her angels have wings. Yeah,
butterflies. You got it.
Yep.
So, Mum is also a teacher. She teaches physics and chemistry and math. But she is much more than just the sciences. She did literature as a young girl, and so tucked away in some of our books, we've got old ones that Mum read with, you know, her notes and little quotes in them. So Mum really inspired me and my sisters to read and to be not just academic, but to be lovers of literature and to really delve into it. And, you know, I remember every Sunday we'd be at the library, and it was so encouraged for me and my sisters to do it. So yeah, all of the Shakespeare and the literature is just 1,000% my mum. And then the pink. So she's wearing blue. I don't know why she's wearing blue. Because the first time meeting her, I would expect her to, you know, wear pink for you. Growing up,
just shake it up a little bit. Don't always be so expected.
Growing up, Mum had this one hot pink house dress, and she wore it into the ground because it was just so Mum. I remember, I don't know if I ever told you, I remember one time I got lost in Carousel and I freaked out, and because we obviously both wear glasses, and so Mum had these ones with like pink rims. And I remember her vividly always, or not always, but often wearing this particular pink outfit. And so we got lost in Carousel at the big shopping centre. And they're like, what is your mum wearing? And I was just like, pink. That's all I could think of, just pink. And she wasn't. But it's because it was such a clear memory of my mum is pink. My mum wears pink. My mum always likes pink. Pink is her favourite colour.
Yeah.
That when I got lost, I was like, pink. So it was, yeah, I just remember that really vividly. Pink for me is just synonymous with my mum.
I think this one's got a bit of pink in it as well. This one is one I did for me. After I did one for each of the girls, the second one for each of the girls, I thought, I want to do one for me now. And this one is called Ashley's Roses. The name in itself is not that significant, but it was the image that I really liked. Once again, a girl in traditional old-fashioned dress, which I thought would fit into the decor of this house. I really liked all the colours and the flowers and the combination of the colours, the fact that she's got some roses. We have lots of roses in this garden as well. I've got a really English country garden because my parents were British. And I just thought it was just such a celebration of the things that I love. You can probably see too, all of these dots here, they're actually the beads. So if you look a little bit closer, you can see the dimensions of the beads. And the beauty of having the beads in these cross stitches, it really just adds that little bit of extra dimension. Yeah. So this is one that was a very high linen count as well, and that I bought the fabric and used my own thread. So by the time we're getting to these ones, I think this is the most recent one that I finished. You can really see that I'm getting a lot more ambitious and really trying a little bit harder to get everything nicer. Yeah,
bigger and greater
they're
things.
The main ones. I have made a lot of other ones and given them to people, and there are ones that I've got for the girls that they're just not here right now. So we might be able to show them another time.
Yeah. Mum is very generous with everything that she does. So her cross stitches, her quilts, which I'll show you another time.
Oh, yes.
Her, just general demeanour and love. Mum's very generous with it, so.
It's great. It's just really nice to give to people, especially when they've had a baby or when they've got married, and I can actually make something like this to celebrate that occasion in their life. I do have a couple of other little things to show you as well.
Let's put this down because it's heavy. Well, not heavy, it's just awkward to lean at.
So this one here, we love having cups of tea in this house. Once again, it's my British heritage, I think.
We renovated the kitchen and we couldn't use the stove for about a week. And the guy comes in and he was, he did everything and sorted everything up. And then he was like, okay, now you can use the stove. And within about 3 minutes, the kettle is going, because we can finally have our cups of tea. And we were craving them for the whole week. So tea is instrumental in our house.
We do. We drink lots of tea. So this here is a tea cozy that Astrid made for me. I was getting into having cups of tea for one. So this is quite a small teapot. And I just asked her, I asked her if she could actually make me a tea cozy to fit on here. And this is what she made for me. I just love it so much. It's got this basket weave and you can see the roses up the top. So those of you who are knitters, obviously if you're on this channel, you appreciate the knitting, but I just love it. Every day when I make a pot of tea, this is on my teapot. I just love it. And it's a little bit worn, but that's the love, is that it's not a relic. It is something that I actually use every day. I've also got something else to show you. And this is a mega teapot. So if I've really got the whole family over, if I've got lots of friends, then I fill up this 1 litre teapot. Stainless steel, by the way. It's really good, keeping everything hot.
Is that chemistry or physics still coming out there?
And my friend Shirley, she actually made this for me. She asked me what I wanted a few years ago for my birthday. And I said, can you please make me a tea cozy? And this is what she came up with. Just her creativity and her workmanship was just astounding. She just used all these scraps of fabric, and there's a little tea stone here, so you can probably see this really does get used. I'll wash it out, but I just love that. So I just wanted to show you as well just some other beautiful things in my life that really do get used every day, because I'm a big believer in just celebrating every day. Every day is beautiful and a celebration. Yeah. And I think especially with everything that's happening in the world at the moment, it's just really nice to remember the simple things of life that actually make it so worthwhile. Yes. Make sure, if you liked this video, that you press the like button and subscribe to the channel and join the community. Then press the notifications so you'll always be notified when a new video is uploaded.
So I would also love to know if you cross stitch as well, if you do any other really creative elements. I would love to show more of Mum, and let me know if you loved seeing Mum. She's awesome. So I would be shocked if you didn't. Okay, bye.